Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 1724, 1724. Greetings to you for listening to this show wherever you are. We are on all kinds of platforms, all over the frickin' place. And you can check it out. In fact, now even on twitch.tv. But that's something that I don't even understand. Because I go on there and there's like one video game I really liked called BioShock that I watched a little bit of someone play yesterday.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
But honestly, for the most part, I'm confused. And what's funny is that
Mike's Daily Podcast.
My millennial friend Katie, who I helped with her podcast yesterday, I was telling her that I'm on Twitch. And she said, "Oh my God, Mike, it's like you're talking some kind of other language. I don't know. Are you a witch?" And I said, "No, I'm not. I'm not. And I know I'm talking about something that's culturally relevant." And she said, "That's prevalent." And I said, "I'm ambivalent." And she said, "Get this podcast."
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Done. And so she had a podcast she's doing with her school that she works for, and I helped her with it, and it sounded good.
Mike's
very helpful.
Daily
I'm helpful to people.
Podcast.
If you have a podcast you'd like me to help you with, I'm now the creator of 1724 podcasts. Mike's Daily Podcast. Yeah. So what I discovered is that I have vocal fry. Oh my God. We have got to kill vocal fry. Look who just walked in. Too many people have vocal fry. Hi, Mike. It's Benita the Rodeo Queen. How y'all doing? And I brought my horse Dilly along. And here she is. Hi, Nelly. What a beautiful horse. Horse walks into a bar. Bartender says, "Get the hell out." Look who else walked in.
Hello there, Mike. This is Valentino, the banking attendant. And look who else came in, my good friend there, Bison Bentley. He's going to drive into the Café Anyway right now.
Wow! That was cool. Hi, Mike. It's Bison Bentley. Do you know that?
That's terrible.
And look who else is here.
Yeah, Mike, it's the Disgruntled Fiddle Player. Tell you what.
What?
All right.
There's so many people here. It's crowded. It's like the Bay Area or something. I hate vocal fry, too.
You know, the only thing I want to fry is fish. Am I right? High five.
And here's today's podcast picture.
Very funny.
Look, I'm no comedic genius. If you want comedic genius, go and watch Comedic Genius show. This is Mike telling you what the podcast picture is. Oh, it's Basil. Is he in the podcast picture? We'll find out soon. The thing is that all these people are here, and it's great to have... Oh, wait, we're missing one person, though. He just fell down, and he popped back up again because he's a rubber ball, and here he is.
Oh, Mike, I make the delicious root beer. I'm the Brewmaster. Oh, boy, I'll cut you.
The coolest thing is... Oh no! We went from 132 fans on Facebook down to 131. Oh, that's sad. I did have eardrums. Okay, we get the point. But we are up to 486 subscribers of the Mike's Daily Podcast email. Woo!
All right.
Back to what were we talking about? Oh, so I do this show, and I had to produce it and chop it up and whatever, and had to go on the air. And the host, there was this section that went between a guest and him, and originally he had the guest was pre-recorded, okay, and so it gets done playing on the radio, live on the radio, and the host takes 3 minutes. Well, not that long, but it seemed like forever to jump back in. Because usually, you want to keep it tight. The previous segment ends, you get to the next segment, and, it all runs cohesively. Well, this guy is anything but cohesive, and he finally talked about like 10 seconds later, and it sounded terrible. So, in post, I went back and I edited them so they were right together. And he said, when it played back, this guy heard it and he goes, "Oh, that really jumped between the segment, and I jumped like really fast. I didn't like that." This is the kind of things we argue about in radio. That's the kind of stuff. It's not a visual thing. I know, so that only leads me to believe, since I don't do any video stuff, the video that you get from Mike's Daily Podcast just shows the podcast picture, which I'm working on it. Gosh, I am very busy, and I'm
taking a breather. Sorry.
I can't get to it at the moment. But the thing is, so I can only imagine.
I'm really busy right now.
That how busy it is for people in the video world, in the filmmaking world, where you're dealing with images. You know, should I do a quick zoom? Should I pan back? I don't know all the terms that they use. Wide shot, etc. There was something I was watching about a TV show. It's funny, on YouTube now, people do all these sort of reviews, and they'll show you clips from movies and TV shows. And this one guy was saying about this TV show, which is called Torchwood, which they don't make any more of. It was a spin-off of Doctor Who, and it was pretty much a mess, this show. It was like supposed to be a mess. It's a mess. It was supposed to be a more adult version of the British show Doctor Who. So, like, really serious things happened, and sad and gross things happened. And it ended up, the last season they made was on the Stars network, which, does anyone watch that? Is even that still on cable? I don't know. I have no say. But it ended up being a show where sometimes they would do these little experimental things where they do these really quick zoom into people edits, like what's going on, and the guy was describing it as a crazy snap zoom. So I don't like snap zooms. I don't like jump cuts. I've talked about that on the show before, when people do a video blog on YouTube, and they do these quick edits because they don't want to show you the flubs that they do, even though that would make them more human. We don't want to be more human in the world, is what I've discovered. We don't want to show our real selves. We want to gloss it all up. We don't want to, we want to put the makeup on. We don't want to see our real self. We don't want to see the beauty that is inside. Or maybe we don't care about the beauty inside. Maybe we are so, Hollywood has been and always will be the most facile, surfacey, undeep, shallow piece of crap place in the world. And it breeds that mentality. And it's disgusting. So let's go back about 5 years ago, let's see, to 2013. Shall we go back there? As we talk about this thing that I was... Where's my go back sound effect? There we go. Now let's go back to 2013. And we'll go to October of that year. What was I doing 5 years ago? These are the questions we can ask. Oh, that's right. My friend was house sitting. And this house is up in the Hayward Hills. Right up on a frickin' cliff, like the sheerest cliff. And what a view. I'll post a picture from this house of the view of the bay, or something to do with this house. You can see that at mikesdailypodcast.com. Yeah, wow, that was 5 years ago. That's so funny. And now he's married. They don't have kids yet, but he's married. Good for him. And applause for him. Yeah. That's all good. Where are we? So no more straws in California. Well, unless you can ask for them and they'll give them to you. Unlike Hawaii, where no straws at all. Completely banned. Because they are killing seagulls. Caw, caw. That's a crow. They're killing everything. So I guess the point is no more straws. So what are we going to drink? We're going to drink with our mouths? No. I can't do that. I need a straw. I need my mouth detached from the fluid by some kind of... It needs to be connected by plastic. How am I going to get over this? I don't know. But I mentioned in a previous podcast that at Whole Foods, they gave me a straw that was made out of paper, and I think it lasted 0.25 seconds before it turned to a mush, a crumpled up piece of paper. Might as well be drinking the drink through the cover that holds the straw, that plastic sheet of that sheath, the sheath that the straw is in. That'd probably be more cohesive to drink stuff with. We used to do, and we had so much fun with straws. Now kids won't know that. The future generations will not know the fun that you can have with particularly the McDonald's. The McDonald's. I'm having trouble talking, just like this guy.
The United States.
He slurs. He was slurring a bit on a 60 Minutes interview last night, where he said, "You won't believe this from me because usually I hate reporters," or he said something to that effect, "but I'm mad at Saudi Arabia for what they did to that reporter, and we will put sanctions on them." And then he was pushed about global warming, and he said, "Well, I don't think it's a hoax, but I think it'll go back. Everything's fine. Let's just keep polluting the atmosphere. We won't suffer any repercussions from that." But back to McDonald's. What you can do with the McDonald's straw is amazing because it's so thick. I don't know if they still make it this way. I haven't been to McDonald's in a long time. But you would take the ends and you would do this sort of a twisty thing where you would twist up the straw so that all this air gets compacted into the middle because you've rolled up both ends. And then you get a friend. Sometimes you can do it if you can hold the both ends tight. And you can snap with your other finger, like a flick with your finger, and snap it, and it'll make this nice popping sound. Kind of sound like this. And that is fun that kids won't know anymore because straws are going to be banned in California. Wah, 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 wah. And Weight Watchers is going to be known as WW. Weight Watchers. I think that's great because if anybody addresses a website as www. They should immediately be kicked in the groin because that is the most annoying thing, is what I am saying. Just a little, because I do not see the point. You don't need to say www anymore. Most search bars, address bars, you just type in the name of the website, the whatever.com, and it's there. Mike'sDailyPodcast.com. Oh, yeah, you can get all specific https:// Mike'sDailyPodcast.com / but, or is it // I always get those mixed up. / is like it's falling forward, right? Or is it falling backwards? So it's just // Duh! I need to take another computer class as we go outside a Café Anyway, where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valley. I took a computer class not 5 years ago, but I think 7 years ago at Chappell College. Chappell, named after Anthony Chappell, the man who owned a bunch of property here in the Bay Area, where most of our cities are built upon, who gambled away a lot of his life ownings and wives, and maybe he gambled away his car. Oh, did he have a car back then? I don't know. The point is, he was a big name in the area. And he was a big deal.
I'm kind of a big deal.
Hey! What do you think about this whole election coming up? I don't want to talk about it because I get really depressed when I talk about it, but the election coming up, I was saying that I thought maybe with this whole Brett Kavanaugh thing, that people might come out, and women, because the women, young women are going to come out to vote, I think. And some of them are going to be affected by this. But unfortunately, I'm hearing a lot of people that follow Trump that are just Brett Kavanaugh. Women saying this. Young women saying this, that Brett Kavanaugh was unfairly treated. So maybe it's... And they say that now, after this whole Kavanaugh controversy, people from both parties are all fired up. Even more fired up. The Democrats are already fired up. But I don't know. It could be in this internet era instant karma, where people, that the whitey white men of the Senate that were anti-Blasey Ford, anti-anything she had to say or what any of the women had to say, maybe they, maybe women will see this and go, enough. It is true, though, as I listened to the New York Times podcast called The Daily, that the attacks politically, and I wish I had that music. It's usually that music like dun 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 dun, and then they'll say something. Let's say the guy or let's say the guy's name is Cohesive Carl.
Cohesive Carl says that he is going to tear down the wall and allow illegal aliens to come into the country and steal your food out of your refrigerator.
Dun, 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 dun. They all sound the same, all those political ads, and they're all attacking. And I think at some point, we've heard it so many times that it just turns into this wallpaper that we ignore. And thusly, all these idiots that have spent millions upon millions of dollars on their stupid campaigns are just throwing it in the wind. That's what I say, curmudgeon-y Mike. And I might be throwing it in the wind, and I might be in ill health because I woke up at 3 o'clock, because speaking of the wind, it was hitting a branch outside my window, which was actually, this branch started hitting the rain gutter and making this thump 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 noise, and it woke me up, and I was woken up at 3 and I didn't get hardly any sleep. So, anyway, is it wallpaper? What do you think? 336mm Daily. 336mm Daily is the number to call. Let me know what you think. I can't wait to find out what you think. Woo! Mike'sDailyPodcast.com is the website. Next show, it'll be the wonderful, what do you call it? Show with people like Madame Rootabega, Valentino, and Bison Bentley. Have a good day.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at Mike'sDailyPodcast.com. Email Mike now at Mike'sDailyPodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!